Okay. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm going to call our meeting back to order here. And Tony, we were on a recess, so we will reconvene today's City Council meeting for the afternoon of February 11th. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to your City Hall. Tony, would you please call the roll?
Kamei? Campos?
Present.
Salas?
Here.
Cohen?
Here.
Ortiz?
Present.
Mulcahy?
Here.
Dwan?
Here.
Candelas?
Here.
Casey?
Here.
Foley? Mahan?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Great, thank you. We did the Pledge of Allegiance when we opened up in the morning session, so we're going to go straight to today's invocation, which will be provided by El Grito de la Cultura Academy. Welcome. I want to ask Council Member Campos to tell us more.
Thank you. So when it comes to Mexican culture, Elena Robles is a state treasure. As a teacher, director, choreographer, dance anthropologist, and investigative journalist, she stimulates the minds and bodies of her students in the Academy El Grito de la Cultura with a range of many topics. And she has been doing it for 54 years. This is not just a dance school. This is about developing leadership, character, and promoting better understanding of our rich cultural diversity here in San Jose. Today, she has brought us a few students to share their enthusiasm and talents with us this afternoon. Please welcome Elena Robles and El Grito de la Cultura.
To be here and to see you up there. It's a great pleasure. I wrote this so it's short. El Grito de la Cultura has over 60 students whom I have confirmed are residents of every city council district up on the diocese. El Grito, I'd like to thank the Hernandez, Hopkins, and the other Hernandez family for bringing their children here today. They represent my 3 different class levels, the moms, the chamacos, which means the little ones, and the teenagers, and they're here today to show you one of our dances. In 2024, we performed over 50 community service activities within diverse ethnic communities, and also in 2024, 11 of my ex-students graduated from a 4-year college, and 5 went on to graduate school, including my past dance captain, who is now attending Stanford University. My current 17-year-old dance captain, Addie, will you wave your hand, Addie? Addie is here today, and she's now selecting her university. She's 17, and she has over 400 community service hours in her resume to put on her personal statement. Glad to see you, Mayor Mahan. Thank you. We're here today to thank all of you for your continued support and look forward to making more good trouble in 2025. Thank you.
Buenísimo. Gracias a la señora Elena Robles. Y el grito de la cultura. Thank you all so much. That was wonderful. All right. Thank you, Councilmember Campos. We're on to our ceremonial items. Councilmember Dewan, if you would join me at the podium, we will recognize Staff Sergeant Dino Ron Kirby.
Switch on the right hand. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I am recognizing Staff Sergeant Dino Ron Kirby for his exceptional work in collaborating with Toys for Tots, the Marine Corps, and our District 7 office to provide toys for 500 children in our neighborhood in the past holiday season. Through this partnership, Sergeant Ron Kirby helped bring joy to countless families and ensure that children in our community receive gifts during a time of celebration. His dedication to serving others went above and beyond his role, leaving a lasting impact on our families. We are truly grateful for his effort in making this past holiday season brighter for so many in District 7, and thank you for your service. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am, again, Staff Sergeant Dino. I've done Toys for Tots for 4 years to serve the entire Santa Clara County, and I love it. It's very hectic for us, but again, this award does not only go to me, but also the Marines and the community itself, because Toys for Tots wouldn't exist without the community, and we're just here to hand out the toys and ensure that the toys go to the children that needs it the most. Thank you.
Congratulations. This is a commendation on behalf of the entire city council signed by each of us. Thank you for
Come on over here and we'll
appreciate
snap a picture together. There we go.
Thank you. Councilmember Campos, if you would join me at the podium, we will recognize and proclaim February 11th as International Day of Women and Girls in Science.
Thank you, Mayor. This is my first commendation, so it's extra special to be providing a commendation to the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley, which is dedicated to increasing the participation of women and girls in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics within the region. Through their Girls Who Code clubs, HFSV offers 5th to 8th grade girls an 8-week program where they learn computer science fundamentals and basic programming structures, culminating in a final coding project using platforms like Scratch. These clubs are facilitated by Latinas in Technology scholars, providing students with relatable role models and insights into the experiences of first-generation Latinx students in STEM. In 2021, 84 middle school girls from Santa Clara County graduated from these clubs. Additionally, HFSV's Latinos in Technology initiative supports Latino college students pursuing STEM majors through financial assistance, professional development opportunities, and internships. This initiative aims to bridge the gap between the Latino community and their representation in STEM careers and its population in Silicon Valley. Since 2016, the foundation has provided financial support to over 500 Latino college STEM students, of whom over 40% have been women. Through these comprehensive efforts and others, the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley is empowering young Latinas and contributing to a more diverse and inclusive STEM community in the region, which we know is so incredibly important. And now we will hear from Ron Gonzalez, former mayor of San Jose and CEO and president of HFSV.
Thank you, Councilmember Campos. I have to tell the mayor, this room looks as good as the day I opened it, so keep it going.
Take care of it.
So I'm delighted to be here with two of my colleagues at the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley, Mireya Maldonado and Carla Madragon. Both of them manage our programs around STEM and women and STEM and Latinos in general. And it's just been a delight to work with them and our other team members as we serve about 3,000 families throughout Santa Clara and San Mateo counties, and all with the objective of getting more young people to pursue careers in the STEM industries. And when we say STEM, we don't just mean technology. We have a lot of people that have gone into health sciences and other areas that STEM wraps around. So it's our pleasure. So thank you for the recognition.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of the whole council, it's a proclamation. It's
Oh,
signed
wonderful.
by every
Oh,
member
great.
of the council. Thanks for the good work you're doing.
We got a
You
unanimous
have a few
vote.
of those, don't you? We did. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
We're
that's
going to hang this up on the wall.
There we go.
All right.
Why don't we come back this way and we'll get a group photo. Thank you for the work you're doing in the community. Let's put you guys in the middle.
I'll get in the middle.
Come over this way, that way we don't get blocked by the podium. Thank you for the work you're doing. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Good to see you. Take care of yourself. Talk to you soon. Thank you. All right, and now our third and final ceremonial item, I would like to invite our city manager to come down, as well as all of the members of the Groundwerx crew. Come on down. I am excited to be able to recognize our incredible Groundwerx crew who play a vital role in keeping our downtown clean, safe, and welcoming. Welcome. Thank you all so much. Since its founding in 2008, Groundwerx has been an essential part of our downtown community. Rain or shine, their dedicated employees are out on the streets, cleaning sidewalks, removing trash, scrubbing graffiti, and greeting residents, workers, and visitors with a smile. This work is made possible thanks to the establishment of downtown's property-based improvement district, and the impact has been remarkable. Just in the past 2 years, Groundwerx has collected and removed off of downtown streets over 700,000 pounds of trash and debris, and remediated over 36,000 different graffiti sites. And those numbers don't just represent the hard work they've done, they have created a cleaner, more vibrant, more welcoming downtown for all of us. Today we are joined by some of the outstanding members of the Groundwerx team who help make this happen every single day. Cristina Ruiz, Administrative Assistant, Mike Thurbedeau, Pressure Washer Supervisor. I got to use the pressure washer last year. It is a lot of fun. Mirko Varaja, Pressure Washer, and Jesse Velo, Cleaning Ambassador. And I just want to say on a personal note, I try to get out and walk around the downtown for just a minute, at least every day. And the work this team does is just tremendous. And it's not just cleaning up the streets, it's a presence downtown. Every Groundwerx person I come across smiles, they take pride in their work, they know that it makes our downtown work for everyone. The thousands of residents, students, employees, small business owners, they're kind of the glue that makes downtown a safe, clean place for everybody. And I just so appreciate how hard they work and the positive attitude they bring and how diligent they are. It's hard work, it's often thankless work, but today we want to really make sure you know how appreciated you are. So on behalf of the council, I'll present a commendation signed by every member of the council, but first I want to turn it over to our city manager, who I know feels as strongly about the work of the Groundwerx team as I do. City Manager McGuire.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. I just want to add my thanks. I'm so very grateful to our Groundwerx crew. I've been working here a long time, and as the mayor said, day in and day out, you are there, you're connecting with the community, you're helping our downtown be as safe, clean, and beautiful as possible. We have a council focus area on cleaning up our neighborhoods, and you're helping really focus on our downtown, which is it's really important to our vibrancy of the city of San Jose. So thank you very, very much.
Hi, everyone. I am John Lopez. I'm the program director for Groundwerx. Thank you. Thank you. We made it, right? But really, this award goes out to my team. They're the ones who are out there in the field doing the work and really making a difference. So I'll be sure to hang this up somewhere in the office and let them know that this one's for them. So before I leave, I want to quickly reintroduce some of my most senior level employees who have been with the company for 10, 15, almost 20 years. Mike Thibodeau, my pressure washing supervisor, has been with the company for almost 20 years. My cleaning ambassador, Jesse Villo, he's also been with the company for almost 20 years. Christina Ruiz, who's my administrative assistant and backup supervisor, you name it, and who I believe is the real boss at Groundwerx. She's been with the company for over 10 years. And Mirko Baraja, my pressure washer, who's also been with the company for almost 20 years. So again, thank you, Mayor, and we look forward to the many more years of service. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. Let's come over this way. And I think your downtown council member wants to run in here as well. Thank you guys so much for the work. Thank you. Okay, thank you all again. We're on to our adjournment. And today's meeting will be adjourned in honor of Mardonia Galeana Dionisio, who passed away on November 10th, 2024. Mardonia was a pillar of her community in Eastside San Jose and a fierce advocate for undocumented immigrants. Her legacy lives on through works of art and stories inspired by her remarkable journey. Councilmember Ortiz, would you tell us more?
Thank you, Mayor. Mardonia was more than a beloved mother and grandmother. She was a woman whose life embodied resilience, love, and unwavering perseverance. Born in Guerrero, Mexico, and making her home in San Jose, she carved a path of survival and strength, not only for herself, but also for her family. Her life was a testament to the strength, beauty, and invaluable contributions of undocumented individuals in our region. Today, her legacy endures, both in the memories of her loved ones and through a beautiful portrait by the renowned artist Rafael Esparza, showcased at the San Jose Museum of Art. This artwork immortalizes her spirit, and it will resonate for years to come. Mardonia's journey was powerfully highlighted in a video by Define American, capturing her perseverance and the spirit that shaped her life. As her grandson, Yosimar, shared in the video, Mardonia never dwelled on what was lacking. Instead, she worked tirelessly to provide, selling goods, recycling bottles, and cans, doing whatever was necessary. I will now read a quote from her. "I am a fighter, and I do not give up like that. Whether they give me papers or not, I'm going to continue to work." Her words echo in our hearts today. As we reflect on her life, we are reminded of the resilience within our communities, the determination to keep going no matter what the challenges are. Mardonia's story is one of many, yet it serves as a powerful reminder of the strength that fuels so many immigrant families. May her legacy inspire us to advocate for equity, dignity, and representation for all, guiding us towards a future where every contribution is recognized, every struggle met with solidarity, and every person, regardless of their origin, has the opportunity to build a life with pride and purpose. Rest in power, Mardonia. Your legacy will continue to inspire us. Now it's my honor to introduce Yosimar Reyes, an East Sider, poet, and Mardonia's grandson, who will share a few words about his grandmother.
Thank you. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. First and foremost, thank you to the council for having me, and thank you, Council Member Peter Ortiz, for this opportunity. My name is Yosimar Reyes, and I have the honor of serving as the Santa Clara County Poet Laureate. I stand before you today as a proud product of District 5 because it was here in this very community that I discovered poetry, and it is through poetry that I have been able to honor the stories of the people who have shaped me, especially people like my grandmother, Mardonia Galeana Dionisio. My grandmother brought me to this country, and together we made our home in the Colmar Apartments on the corner of Story and Capitol. We arrived in San Jose in 1991, stepping into the hostile climate of Proposition 187, a time when immigrants like my grandmother were vilified, scapegoated, and told they did not belong. And now, decades later, we find ourselves in similar territory. The anti-immigrant rhetoric, the ICE raids, the criminalization of our people, none of this is new to us. We've seen this before, we have endured before, and yet, despite every effort to push us out, we have remained, we have built, and we have thrived. My grandmother was a pillar in our community, feeding day laborers, collecting bottles and cans, and building a vast network of neighbors who looked out for one another. Without documentation, without official recognition, she still found ways to contribute, to nurture, and to create a life of dignity and purpose. She showed us that abundance is not just about what you have, it's about what you share. Her impact reached far beyond our neighborhood. Her story became a national testament to the contributions of undocumented immigrants in this country, so much that she was featured in the New York Times. Today, her presence endures in our city, immortalized by a portrait painted by renowned artist Rafa Esparza, which now hangs in the San Jose Art Museum as part of the permanent collection. This past November, my grandmother passed away, and we transported her remains to Mexico, where she now rests. But today, she is here with me. She is here in the memories of the people she touched, in the stories the stories we continue to tell, and now in public record of the city. Let it be known that on the corner of Story and Capitol, a 90-year-old undocumented viejita built an abundant life. Joining me today is my family, all residents of District 5, all immigrants who continue to contribute to the fabric of our community. I'm proud that we're here with you, standing together in this space, because as a poet, I know that history is important and moments like this matter. So today, I thank you for having us, for the city's commitment to fight besides us, and as always, seguimos en la lucha. Rest in peace, abuelita. I'm going to miss you every single day of my life. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. That was a beautiful tribute to your grandmother. She's an amazing woman and important member of our community. We're sorry for your loss, for our loss as well. We're on to our afternoon agenda items. We'll start with item 8.1, which is the public hearing on the 2025 weed abatement commencement report and removal of weeds. I don't believe there's a staff presentation, but everyone should have the memo. Tony, do we have public comment on this item?
Not on this item, but I wanted to note that there is, Garrick from the county is available on Zoom if you have questions for the county.
Okay, and who was it from the county?
Garrick?
Garrett, okay, great. I actually did have one question, so if we don't have any comment cards, why don't we come back to the council? My question was really, I'm curious about how how we know the status of the weeds, how frequently we check through the fire season, which is now very long. It's roughly, March to October or so, March to November even. Do county staff or contractors make multiple visits out to properties to check the status of the fuel load and ensure compliance, and then do abatements by a certain date if the private property owner hasn't, or is it a one check per year? Can you just give us a little more detail on what it looks like in practice, especially obviously in the context of the horrific tragedy that's just unfolded in Los Angeles?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Garrick Ioselewski, and I'm the Weed Abatement Program Manager for the County of Santa Clara Consumer and Environmental Protection Agency. Thank you for having me via Zoom today. I apologize I could not be present in person. To address the question about how frequently we go out to properties, we have a list of properties that we go out to, which the City Council will be approving today. And our standard practice is to visit each of these properties at least once during the fire season. In San Jose, that's from March 1st and ends on October 31st. We typically only visit each property one time in the season. There are a few circumstances where we may visit the property more than once. The first circumstance is, well, to explain our process, when an inspector goes out to the property, they can either pass or fail the inspection, or they can do what's called a check second. A check second is telling us that it appears that the property owner has begun abatement on the property, but maybe the work has not finished. And so we give them the benefit of the doubt that they're working on it. And so we come back in about 2 weeks or more to confirm that it's been completed. So that's one time when we may return back. Another time is if the property fails the inspection, in which case we will send the property owner a 15-day courtesy notice letting them know that the property was found to be out of compliance and that they have 15 days to correct the violation. And then we will return back in 15 days or more to confirm if work is needed on the property, and if it is needed, then we'll have the contractor abate the property. And then the third instance where we may visit a property a second time is if we get a complaint about the property from either a neighbor or from another public agency, then we'll go back and we'll revisit the property a second time. Unfortunately, we are a very small team and we have very limited capacity to return to properties multiple times throughout the season. We have 3 people, it's 2 inspectors and myself, and we have over 2,000 properties throughout the entire county that we need to inspect. So just to answer your question, it is most of the time it is a one-time inspection throughout the year. If we did have to return back for multiple inspections, then we would have to charge the inspection fee multiple times if that was our standard practice.
That makes sense, and I appreciate you joining via Zoom. That was a helpful overview of how you approach it, so thank you for that. Because you're talking about a large number of properties, about 2,000 in all, and a very long fire season, for the properties that you inspect first, say in March, even if the grass has been mowed, I'm just curious what the vegetation profile looks like. For those early properties, do we know if there's then a further accumulation, plants that are growing later in the season that would accumulate and pose an extra fire risk later in the year? I imagine you're not able to get to all 2,000 in the first couple of months. I imagine it kind of rolls over the course of the season.
Yeah, so each jurisdiction that we serve has a different start date for our inspections. San Jose is one of the first. San Jose and Campbell both start on March 1st. Then we have some more that start in April, and then we have a couple that start in May. So our process is sort of rolling on throughout the county through different start dates. But to answer your original question, the vegetation, of course, does grow back. And we do expect that property owners continue to maintain their properties throughout the fire season. So, you know, we do the best that we can to visit all the properties. And then if there are any problematic sites that we want to keep our eye on, we can always return back to them later in the season once we've done our full round of initial inspections.
Got it. That's helpful. Okay, and then last question, just picking up on that, and obviously this would not be a change we would attempt to make today, but just for our context, were we to start the checks later in the season, would that be operationally feasible, and would there be any advantage in having a better sense of what's growing and making sure that that fuel load is reduced at an optimal time. Again, if you're mowing the grass early in the season and a bunch of additional fuel comes later and people are only going to get inspected once, I could imagine some additional risk there.
So just so I understand the question you're asking is, would it be feasible for us to push back the start date of our inspections in San Jose?
I guess two questions. One is the feasibility of it from an operational standpoint, but also just leaning on your expertise or other expertise in the room, would that even be advisable? Would there be any advantage to that? I'm just trying to deal with that use case of you check in March, never go back, and we have greater risk later in the season when presumably that it's even a greater period of risk for everyone.
Yeah, I think that operationally it would be feasible for us to push back the start date to a certain point. We have actually had requests from other cities. For example, City of Santa Clara, they used to have an earlier start date and they've requested that we push it back to April 15th. So we've accommodated them for that. We typically don't want to go too much later than that, especially down on the valley floor, because things do tend to dry out a little bit quicker, and we just want to make sure that we're addressing it early on in the season.
Okay, makes sense. And then we could take it offline, but it would be interesting to know what it would look like to do some additional checks later in the season just to make sure that there isn't significant additional risk that still hasn't been addressed either through some kind of regrowth or whatever else. But anyway, I think it's just hard for those of us who aren't out there to really get our heads around what it actually looks like in practice. But I appreciate you being here and giving us that extra context. Thank you. Okay, a couple other colleagues have hands up. I'll turn to Vice Mayor Foley.
Thank you. This is probably a little bit off topic of this specific weed abatement because this deals primarily with privately held property. But how is our city property and the county property monitored for weed abatement? Because you see on the expressways high levels of grass, and to me that seems like a bigger threat of a wildfire than one individual's property. But can someone address when that occurs, how that occurs?
Sure, I'm happy to jump in. Lee Wilcox, Assistant City Manager. And actually, Garrett, why don't we start with you for county-owned property, because I know you guys handle that a little bit differently.
Sure. So our program does not typically do routine inspections on any public properties. However, if we do see during our regular inspections, or if we get complaints about public property that has overgrown vegetation, we will make a referral to that specific agency. So for example, with the county, if we see something that's owned by county roads and airports department, then we will make a referral over to them, let them know that we've seen some overgrown vegetation and ask them to clean it up. With our county parks department, we actually have a contract with them where we provide the services with our contractor, and they pay for their services plus an administrative fee. So that is one option for dealing with other municipalities. We actually have another contract with the city of Morgan Hill for the same type of service. So that is something that, you know, we could potentially expand on with other jurisdictions as well if it is desired.
Councilmember, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead and answer it from the city side.
Sure, and I should have said Vice Mayor, apologies. You know, for the city side, we have a variety of departments, whether it's DOT, real estate, and parks, where we own property and we look at this. I'd say we've really used the county plan and the annex plan specifically around fire preparedness and prioritizing work within the wildland urban interface, because that is our most immediate risk. So I know in the info memo we just released, there's a real detailed breakdown, especially around Alum Rock Park, where we have a lot of risk and needed to catch up on a lot of work. But we definitely consult across the organization and with fire where there's risk, where we prioritize our own work around weed abatement. But again, a majority of our focus in this area has been with code on private property, helping the county, and all of the areas around the wildland urban interface.
Okay, so when we're doing weed abatement, are we depending on members of the public to report in? It sounds like that's what the county's doing. The county's waiting for us to report and not being proactive. How do we respond to that? Or how do we handle it?
Well, with regards to the private property, it does sometimes come in through a complaint or it might be proactive, but once it's on that list, it stays on that list for 3 years before it can come off the list from being in compliance. But other parcels, yes, as far as private property, I'm not sure how the city property is receiving their, or what steps they're taking to address that. But yeah, we get complaints, and so we're responding to those throughout the year, so it's kind of in supplement to what the county's doing. And
Yeah,
if
no,
we-
yeah, I'm sorry, Rachel. I understand from the public or the privately held property how
Yes.
that's all handled. I'm curious about the non-privately held property, the publicly held property, and it sounds like it's more member of the public has to call us up or call up the county and report it, and then they'll go take a look at the expressway, for example. That's what I'm hearing.
I think that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Vice Mayor. Let's go to Councilmember Dwan.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a quick question for Garrick. So I know the fines escalate, and per the memorandum, it goes up to $1,300. And some of these folks that live on the outskirt of, on the county or the city, they're elderly and their income is limited. Is there a forgiveness program or a assistant program for, to assist people to comply with the weed abatement and to protect our citizen?
Sure, that's a great question, and just a couple of points of clarification there. Ours are not fines, they are rather fees, because we are a cost recovery program. We don't receive any other funds aside from recovering costs from the properties that we inspect, and that's why the fees have to be so high so that we can actually exist. And then also in the city of San Jose jurisdiction, we don't inspect any properties that have homes or structures on them. We only inspect the vacant properties. But to your point, the question about financial assistance, we do not have any sort of financial assistance program. However, the Santa Clara County Fire Safe Council does have what's called the SNAP program, and that is something where property owners can apply to that, and they can potentially get funding from them to abate the weeds on their property. In terms of a forgiveness program, so we also do have another public hearing that will be held in July or August, depending on when it gets scheduled for the city, where property owners may come in and contest their fees that were applied to their property tax bills based on the work that was done this year. And the city council does have the authority to remove fees from a property owner if they feel it's appropriate.
Thank you. And to the Vice Mayor point, for example, Capitol Expressway belonged to the county, and there's a lot of homes is right there in Capitol Expressway, and I had complaints, not only in my district, but also in other districts, that the grass on the side have grown quite high, and it, if it caught on fire, it could catch the trees on fire, which impede upon their homes. And how do you address that, down especially on Capitol Expressway from 101 towards Monterey or Capitol Expressway as a whole?
Sure, that's a great question. And so we do not inspect any public properties as part of our program. However, if we did receive a complaint or if an inspector saw that issue in the field while they're doing their routine inspections, then we would report it to the county roads and airports department, and we would ask them to address that. We are also looking into possibly going into another agreement with that department to potentially provide our weed abatement services to them. So that's something that we haven't really started the discussions on, but we're starting to brainstorm that. And so that is something that may come out of this potentially down the line.
Thank you. And I just want to know if the county ever consider using a drone program to patrol the area that belong to the county, so that way, is efficient and you can address the problem early versus late.
So I'm not super familiar with our ability to use drones. I do know that the county has a surveillance policy that for the most part, does not allow us to use drones in a lot of areas due to privacy reasons. However, if it's strictly looking at county-owned property, I suppose there is some potential there, and that's something I'd have to explore with our agency director.
Thank you. I yield my time.
Mayor, just really quickly,
Yes, please.
we can have our Department of Transportation reach out to county roads and airports as well and better understand what type of maintenance cycle that the county expressways are on. I do know our own DOT staff, and thank you to Rick Scott for texting all of this to me. But our medians are on a annual rotation. So we do have money built into the budget for our own properties around the medians. And then as you see, as we go to build, and actually not just build new medians and roadways, but we do go back and try and make those either, drought tolerant or add actual hardscape to mitigate some of those. But we can definitely follow up. Staff is separate from the weed abatement issue, trying to circle around what type of information the council may want through a study session, leading up to fire season and kind of showcasing all of the things we do from fire all the way down to all the support departments that have a role in this, from education and prevention all the way down to response, mitigation, and kind of recovery. So that'll be something that we can follow up with the full council on before summer.
That sounds great. Thank you, Lee. Okay, any further questions or a motion?
Move approval of the item.
Okay, great. Tony, let's vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you. Okay, we are on to land use consent. We have 2 items on land use consent. We have a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you. Tony, do we have any public comment?
Yes, I have several cards. I'm going to call, it looks like 6 names. I'll call you down. First person on the microphone, go ahead and go. It's no particular order. Everybody else can take a seat in the front row. I have Alex, Lori, Rose, Julie, Gary, and Adolfo.
Good afternoon, Council. I'm Alex Satinsky, CEO of the San Jose Downtown Association, and I'd like to speak in support of the application for a conditional use permit of this new music venue. It is rare that someone tries to bring a new concert venue into the district. The size of this project will allow the booking of prominent acts that can help bring vibrancy and nightlife to downtown. Property owner Richard Berg feels that this is the most significant project to be proposed in the SoFa district in over 10 years. A thriving city needs to welcome a new creative energy. While this process has been somewhat unorthodox, the benefits of the completed venue are extremely important for the growth of our district. Please grant the requested use permit and allow this venue to be fully permitted and operational as soon as possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, good afternoon. Excuse me, Lori Ramos Chavez. I'm just asking for your support for this conditional use permit also. San Jose needs something, a venue like this. It's something new, it's something exciting, and with everything that's going on in the world today, even right here in San Jose, we need something that's going to bring the excitement back to the city. And your approval and support of this will do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Rose Amador. I represent or co-chair of La Raza Roundtable, and I just came in support of the venue that Pete has. I guess it's already been approved, but it's going to be a wonderful place. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's very classy, and I'm glad it's in San Jose. And I'm also happy that an indigenous Hawaiian has led this charge. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council members. My name is Julie Dominguez, and I'm a proud lifelong resident of San Jose, a devoted mother, and a community member who deeply wants to see cultural and economic growth within our city. I'm here today to express my strong support for the approval of PP Center, located in our beloved downtown San Jose. And I urge you and thank you for your consent to recognize the immense value that this venue will bring within our city. San Jose has always been a place of innovation, diversity, and resilience. Yet when it comes to cultural and artistic spaces, we continue to lag behind other major metropolitan areas. But PP Center is exactly what our city needs, a dynamic world-class venue that will not only bring music and arts to the forefront, but also serve as a catalyst for economic and community revitalization. And this venue will create jobs, drive tourism, and give local artists a much-needed platform to share their talents. By attracting national and international performers, it will put San Jose on the map as a premier entertainment destination, bringing in new business and enhancing the vibrancy within our downtown. And as a mother, I want my children to grow up in a city where they have access to diverse cultural experiences, where they can live and see San Jose's performances that inspire them, where they feel a sense of community pride. And PP Center does just that. It's a social cultural gathering place that will unite the people from all backgrounds through shared experiences. And it's a safe place that's inclusive with families, young professionals, students, and lifelong residents that can come together to celebrate music, art, and creativity. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I look forward to seeing this incredible vision come to life. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
I don't think I could say any better than the last few speakers. We have some investments in the SOFA area, and what I can tell you is that SOFA lacks a little bit of a critical mass. It just needs some an injection of some vibrancy and a few more types of content providers like Pete is trying to bring forward. What we can't afford is have more vacancy there. And so our hope is that a venue like this will be filled up, it will become vibrant, bring lots of musical acts. We actually had just recently opened, it's kind of a shameless plug, a roller skating rink right down the street, as well as a beer garden. We're opening up some pickleball courts there as well. And we hope this becomes a demonstration of how you can start to create a vibrant community, how you can start to bring these different types of activities together, and what it might do not just for nighttime traffic, but also for the daytime. So we think it's a great complement to some of the things that you're starting to see take place in the SOFA district. So we're strong supporters of it. Thank you.
Next speaker, and then I have another anonymous card, so anonymous will come up next.
How you doing, Mayor, council members? So I think it's been approved already. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm just gonna go to support Pete. We need these venues, especially with the magnitude and the sizes, to attract better acts, keep growing the entertainment area. And the main thing, we need to have that space to be filled and active so we don't have so many empty spaces in our downtown. I think this will bring more people and more movement to the SOFA district, and it's something that we need, especially with you guys not being touring that location. Is beautiful. It's really a war act what Pete has been doing over there. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, thank you for having me. We heard a lot of great presentations made by the people that support the venue, and I don't disagree with anything that they've said. It could bring additional business into the community. But I'm the only one who actually lives in San Jose. I'm a tenant who's lived in that area, and right now there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of traffic, and I don't see the city really doing anything. So my complaint is because I haven't gotten any responses from the police or from council members to help me with the noise problem, that I'm actually speaking in front of you to say, I'm okay with the venue, but are you actually going to enforce the noise regulations, the traffic regulations, because it's really bad right now. And for music to go on till 2 in the morning on a weekday is unacceptable. That's not how people should be living. Plus, there's music even after 2 o'clock because there are vendors that are on the street. I wonder if that's even legal. And they blast music till 3:30, 4 in the morning. So my complaint is that I don't know if the city is really enforcing laws to help the tenants. And you have to weigh, Do I want to bring in more business? You absolutely do. But at the same time, downtown San Jose is also trying to build apartments to move people into that area. Yet these people aren't aware of the fact that music goes on till 2 in the morning, and that's really unacceptable. It's not all the bars that play music till 2 in the morning. Some of them, I think, play music where they have their stage in front of the door, the entrance to go in. Their windows and doors are open, and it's blasting. And it just seems incredibly unreasonable. And nothing has been done, so the end result is I'm going to move. And I've invested a lot living in downtown San Jose, and yet I'm forced to move because of certain clubs. So I'm kind of complaining about that, and I apologize. Overall, I would love to see the music venue come down there, although that area is going to be really busy. There's already a Dash place, I think, there.
Thank you. That's your time.
And sir, we don't normally respond to public comment, but I will say if you connect with Stephen Noah on my team, he'll connect you with your new interim council member, and we'll see if we can help you before you
I just want to tell you, I've been dealing with the council member for 4 years, and I go around in circles.
All right.
So
well,
if you can help, fantastic.
We've got a new one, but we'll.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Back to council.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're back on the land use item. There is a motion and a second, and it looks like some additional comments and questions. Councilmember Dewan?
Thank you, Mayor. I took the opportunity and went down there and visited Pete B. And I can see the possibility and the vision from Pete to make it a music event. And I will be supporting the CUP because I want to see the vibrancy. And I know that he is committed to multicultural music event, and I'm excited to see it happen and to attend some of the future event. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Councilmember Salas. There you go. You got it.
I'm getting there. I just wanted to mention to my colleagues, I went there also yesterday, and it's a beautiful, beautiful venue. It's a perfect little niche market, and I'm very much in support of it. But to this gentleman here, I do want to mention that I've received a number of complaints just in the last few days. I've only been here a week and a couple of days, but I'm very acutely aware that we need to figure out a balance between, we know we have existing laws on noise, and we need to figure out a balance, and that's a high priority for me because we want people downtown. We don't want them moving away, and it is a little balance we have to work, and it's a priority for me.
Yeah, good. Well said. We will have to balance both the vibrancy with ensuring quality of
I'll
life
move
for
approval
residents.
of the land use consent.
I think it's already been moved.
Oh, has it?
We already have a motion and a second. I don't see any other hands. Let's vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, great. We are now, let's see, that was land use consent. Okay, so we're on to open forum for the council meeting. We will then be adjourning the afternoon session of the city council meeting and moving on to our study session for priority setting and budget. So let's go to open forum. This is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on city business not on today's agenda. Do we have comment cards?
Yes, I have Susan and Gary.
Okay. Do we have Susan and Gary? I'm not seeing anyone coming down.
Gary's here.
Oh, Gary. Hi, Gary.
Susan may have left, and then we'll need a recess as well.
Understood.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank you, first of all, for all your good service you've been doing. And I've been in District 7 46 years, and my biggest concern is about the homeless. I don't want to be fussing with them with way hours of the night, RVs, trailers, and people trying to break in cars and stuff. I get on Steve's nerves a lot, and I hope y'all be wise and put the homeless apartment as priority, because I don't want to see San Jose like Oakland, San Francisco. When I came, San Jose was beautified. I love it, and I don't want to see go down that path. And I appreciate all the hard work you've been doing. I know how the budget works, but I'm just asking you to tweak it a little bit more and put the homeless situation priority, because a lot of them are angry out there and they bitter and they take it out on the public. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Susan has left.
Okay, do we have any other comment cards? Okay, thank you. So we will adjourn the city council meeting. Colleagues, we will need a roughly 10 to 15 minute, how many minutes, Tony?
We need at least 5,
okay.
But I don't know, for us, I don't know about the budget staff.
Okay. We'll take a 5 minute, we will adjourn and return in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.